Alright, Internet. This podcast style video is about the California Jungle Primary. Now, I'm kind of late with this video because I didn't get a chance to make this podcast style video because I was busy with other things like work and whatnot. Now, I am going to be going over the results of the Jungle Primery. But first, one thing I should tell you this is that during the Jungle Primaries, June 5th, I actually gotten into a sparring match on Twitter. I don't know, some dude named Francis. I'm not going to give out his last name because I don't want people going around trying to get personal information from him. In fact, if anybody does get personal information from him, I don't want it. I want none of it. Okay. And I guess it's some other lady. Now, that other lady claimed to be a single mother who likes living in, I guess, what I assume is Monterey County. Her actual mother has a house in front of the coast, in front of the beach side, which that's kind of a miracle of its own. And I guess I kind of went too far with this shit and said she was a damaged goods for that. Now, yeah, I'm gonna admit that I went too far, but I'll admit this. What I'm saying, I will admit to this. The fact that you're a single mother, that she's a single mother, and she loves living in California. The fact that she can get her house and all that shit kind of explains why she likes living here. Like, try living somewhere else as a single mother. Anywhere. Like, she brags about her kids finishing college. They got all the college degrees. Like, okay, so they finished college at this moment. Well, come back 8 years later and tell me how they're doing well. I guarantee they're going to be working. They're most likely going to be working at Mickey D's trying to pay off the college loans debt they've gotten. Or unless the state, you being a single mother, gave them free tuition to college, then yeah, either that. Most likely they got a college degree that is fucking useless. And they're gonna probably work at a retail job or at McDonald's or something. Because most of these college degrees will get you that these days. Especially the ones with the studies in it. Like African American studies, women's studies, Holocaust studies, gender studies, all that shit will just get you nothing in life. And if her kid's so great, I better not see them, probably the youngest one, having Facebook pictures of him flashing gang signs or having a criminal record. I better not see that. Probably most likely, I guess, as a Caucasian person. They probably not join gangs. If it's a male, probably most likely be risk averse because I don't know. children that are products of single mother households are most likely to be very cautious. Also, they're most likely to abuse substance like alcohol, booze, weed. Well, not weed's not harmful to anybody. It's harmless, but methamphetamines, and they're most likely to lose their job than people that have fathers in their lives. But as for Francis, I think the fact that you had to resort to berating me for being anonymous has to do with the fact that you want my personal information so you can fuck up my life as opposed to you calling me a typical fedora wearing virgin loser that lives in his mother's basement drinking Mountain Dew, eating chicken tendies and getting good boy points, and I don't know, wearing a Sonic Chew medallion, being like Christian and shit. I think that's what it is. But anyways, enough of those two clowns. About the Jungle Primary. I'm beginning to hate the Jungle Primary. Now, for most of you people outside of California, California has this weird way of doing primaries for some reason. You know, doing election. The Jungle Primary works is that the person with the highest votes, along with the second place person who has the second most highest votes, go face each other regardless of what party they are. You can have two Democrats competing against each other for the governor's Senate position or for a district to or for a congressional district or having two Republicans going after each other. That's how things work around here in California. I'm beginning to dislike this system because it's very fucking stupid to have this way. It should be one person from that party who gets the highest vote gets to run in the generals, along with the other person from the other party. It should be like the way we do it with the presidential races we have every 4 years. Not this way. I fucking hate the Jungle Primary system. Now, I'm gonna start with the Senate election. Well, the U.S. Senate election results are in. It's official. It's Dianne Feinstein versus Kevin DeLeon. And why the fuck do these people keep electing the same motherfucking asshole? Seriously, you keep hearing everybody complaining about how shitty Congress is, and they keep electing the same fucking asshole. I alluded to this before the Jungle Primary started. It's that the reason why the U.S. Congress is abysmal is because you keep electing the same motherfuckers over and over and over again. And because of that, they become lazy. They fucking use this as a way to get a career. Dianne Feinstein is a career politician. Like what other jobs she ever had other than being a politician? None. She never had a job. And again, she's part of the female sex. So I guess her husband was the one bringing home the bacon. Plus, she's been married 3 times over again. Her, her current husband is Richard Bloom. I guess he's an investment banker. Yeah, that's one thing about these politicians. They get a lot of support and money from bankers as well as other corporate heads and union heads. These people are so out of touch. I think most people realize how out of touch these politicians are, and they keep electing them. And you got Kevin DeLoyne, who never had a job in his life. He just spent most of his time, I guess, being a community organizer. That was that what he did? Which I'm gonna assume that De Leon was a community organizer because yeah, he was an organizer, a community or labor organizer. No real job, no real occupation, nothing. He's just another career politician. What in the fucking actual motherfucking fuck is going on? Why do people keep electing career politicians if they know that they're gonna stifle them and just sit around all day in Congress and do nothing all day? Obviously, if De Leon, no, obviously if De Leon wins, there'd be a good chance he'll just sit around and do nothing, act like, and probably focus on re-election when I guess the next midterms come around. Now, I don't care if he's from San Diego, which meaning he grew up in Logan Heights with his mother. I wouldn't be surprised if he got involved with the local gang there. Maybe that's why he like wants gun control. Oh yes. Now the last Senate elections we had was Kamala Harris versus Loretta Sanchez. Now there was a major difference between Sanchez and Harris. Harris was being a typical neolib, run-of-the-mill neolib who wanted gun control, who want over-regulation, overtaxed society. And Loretta Sanchez was a blue dog, but wanted to focus on other things that are more important. But right now, you got Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat who wants gun control, wants everybody to be overtaxed. I mean, everyone to be overtaxed, and more regulation versus, well, which she is a neolib versus Kevin DeLeon, who wants more gun control, more taxes, more regulation, and also a progressive. So because of that, I am gonna either abstain from voting or put in a write-in candidate, mainly Mickey Mouse. But knowing it's a jungle primary we get around here these days, I'm probably just gonna abstain from voting because I don't like these people. And I would encourage people watching this video to do the same fucking thing. Jesus Christ. It's amazing the fact that people hate Congress and they keep electing the same assholes. You keep fucking them over even though they're gonna fuck them over again. It's beyond me. I will never understand why they keep doing that. Also, Feinstein's gonna run for it anyways. You could have a Republican like James Bradley. I think James Bradley would. What I'm saying is that James Bradley would have mopped the floors of Dianne Feinstein or Diane Frankenstein, whatever that fucking freak is. I think right now she's starting to look like a bitch. She's 80. She's in her fucking 80s. But I guess she's gonna complete her goal, becoming senator for life. That's what she's gonna. That's what's her. That's what. That's what her goal is, senator for life. So that's all I gotta say about the Senate elections. Alright, folks. I guess it's time to talk about the gubernatorial race. Now, the results are in from the primary. And it's gonna be Gavin Newsom versus John Cox. Now, Newsom managed to win the urban coastal area, excluding San Diego, because, these urban coastal elites tend to vote Democrat. The only coastal regions he did not win is Del Norte County, OC, and San Diego County. For some reason, Ventura County voted for Cox as opposed to Newsom. He got 32% of the votes as opposed to Gavin Newsom, which is kind of a surprise for me because I expect Ventura County to go left. Now, Cox managed to win the rest of California, which is most of the counties, mainly in the inland area, farmlands, and whatnot, like the Central Valleys. Of course, San Diego is the only urban area that Cox managed to win, which among all the left coast cities, San Diego tends to vote Republican. Viragosa managed to win one county, which is Imperial County. Then again, Imperial County is basically mostly Latinos, mainly in the farming area where they go and pick cabbages and iceberg lettuces and all that shit. Why they grow these type of food out in the desert, I don't know. I guess for winter crops. Now, I thought Viragosa was gonna get Los Angeles County because, a large Latino presence is there. Plus, he's from LA as well because of that shit. Because of that fact. I thought he was going to have that area, but I guess they all decided to vote for Newsom instead. And now, but to be honest, the governor's seat is gonna be Newsom's. It's obviously that he's gonna get the governor's chair. Now, unlike the Senate election, John Cox got endorsed by Donald J. Trump. Now, this kind of infuriated the Travis Allen crowd, because they wanted him to be the Republican nominee. Then again, there is no Republican or Democrat nominee because of the Jungle Primaries. But yeah, now, our current governor, Jerry Brown, has been one of the worst governors ever. He supported Scott Wienerton, like Scott Penis laws, like Scott Wiener. Makes you wonder if he's related to Anthony Weiner, but I think that shit's true. But anyways, Jerry Brown supported Scott Wiener's bullshit, wacky ass laws, such as one of them being legalizing infecting people with AIDS, knowing you have the disease. Yeah, like that's gonna go horribly, like, which is based. What I'm saying is that it's most likely gonna go horribly wrong, and people are gonna use this as a way to infect people they don't like, like Jilted Lover. And now, then he raises the fucking gas tax. So it's making it more expensive to travel around California. Now, as for myself, I use public transportation because of that reason. Is that gasoline is more expensive than paying $2.50 to ride the bus, because I'm not paying like $6 for a gallon of gasoline. But I guess Jerry Brown wants us to pay for that. And of course, people complain about it, and he gets in their faces and calling them a bunch of freeloaders. Like, you do that in my face, I'll kick your ass. If you call me a fucking freeloader for complaining about it. The only freeloaders I see are the ones who tend to abuse the welfare system, as well as trying to get money off of other people. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Jerry Brown decided to outdo himself with the water laws. Like, he makes this stupid water conservation laws where you can only use 55 gallons of water a day, and according to him, that's a good thing. And now, technically, so that way you can't do your laundry and take a shower at the same day. Now, an 8-minute shower says to take about like 12 gallons of water, while laundry takes about 40 gallons. So it's not feasible. Now you say, I can do that. I can skip a day by not taking a shower. That's not going to be a problem. Really? Well, try using 55 gallons of water a day while living in a house, while being part of a family of 8, living in the same. What I'm saying is, try using that amount of water, 55 gallons a day, while sharing a house with 8 other family members. Maybe feasible for 1 or 2 person people, but when it comes to a family where 2 couples with their 5 children, It's near impossible. These laws are impossible to enjoy. And of course, if Jerry Brown wanted to conserve water, he could have just banned swimming pools. And it's most likely that he knows that Gavin Newsom is going to win the governor's chair, the governor's mansion, and he's going to continue these bullshit laws. He's going to continue that stupid bullet train to nowhere. Like, if he wanted people to conserve water, he could have just did his subsidized farmers so they can switch to drip irrigation. But no, we gotta like force people to use 55 gallons of water a day. It's unfeasible. These laws are just relentlessly retarded. Now even though Jerry, I know that even though that John Cox is probably gonna lose, to all you people out there that do not like Gavin Newsom or are conservative, I want you to go out there and vote, okay? When the general elections come, please vote for Travis, you know, or vote third party if you want, if that's possible. But mainly vote for Newsom's opponent. I do not like Gavin Newsom. I think he's one of the worst politicians we ever had in this state. I'm willing to vote for John Cox. I want everybody to vote for him. Get out there and vote. That's one of the reasons why I guess the Democrats and their career politicians, well, I shouldn't be saying Democrats or Republicans because they don't make much difference. To me, they're the same fuckers that are corrupt and they're both globalists. But I think John Cox would be a better governor. Just vote for him, get out there, and vote. I don't care if you have to do laundry, or you're sick on that day, or you have to take your car in. Just get out there and vote for John Cox, even though if he's going to lose or not. I'm kind of cynical about this as well, but I'm going to get out there. I'm going to vote for him because I don't like this Newsom fucker and I don't want him to win. Even though it might, even though that John Cox, because if John Cox gets closer to victory against Newsom, it will send a message that the people of California are tired of this shit. And all that. People will be unhappy about it, the way things are. I'm unhappy how this state's being run. Of course, the Senate election, there was no endorsement for any candidates. A lot of Republican candidates. None of them managed to make it to the town halls. Also, there's going to be a debate coming up where Newsom faces off with John Cox. So that's all I gotta say about but also one thing, it makes you wonder if these polls were rigged to make it that the Democrats would only be the ones who get the Senate seat for being like Feinstein versus DeLeon. I don't know. I don't vote for people that have D or R after their name. All I know is that Newsom's terrible. But yes, like I said, get out there and vote for John Cox. I'm gonna vote for him because I don't like Newsom. He's gonna fuck up the state. He's gonna continue on Jerry Brown's laws and shit, and it's gonna basically throw the entire state into chaos. So that's all I gotta say about the governor's race. All right, internet. Well, now it's time to talk about the California primary, the House election results. Now, the Democrats, who are, I guess, the neolibs, the um, as well as the far left, the loony left, and the progressives, who are the Warrenites and the Bernie Bros and whatnot, were hoping for a blue wave. Unfortunately for them, they did not get a blue wave. And I can tell for one reason, there are there are a lot of Republican candidates that managed to make it to the general election. Again, um, California uses the jungle primary system, so it doesn't matter what party the person's running for, because you can end up with a Democrat, two Democrats competing against each other, or two Republicans competing against each other. Like, for instance, House District 8 has two Republicans that are going to be competing against each other, while I guess some other district might have two Democrats competing against each other. So that's how the jungle primary works, like I said before. Now, some of these areas are leaning heavily towards red, as well as some areas leaning marginally towards red, or marginally conservative as in general. Like San Diego is still marginally conservative despite Hillary winning the county, because John Cox managed to win San Diego County as well in the primaries, if you know about the governor's election. Now, a good example would be U.S. House District number 10, that Jeff Denham managed to win the primaries, and he's going to go be facing off against Josh Carter. Now, there were other challengers against him, such as Michael Eggman, who was a farmer. He has run against Mr. Denham twice before, which I think that's a good thing, because why not elect a farmer? It's better than electing a lawyer or some jackass who never had a job before. But he's going against Josh Carter, who's a who's a venture capitalist. Now, no, but it could be worse. He could end up going against Virginia Mad Gennaro, Mad Genino or something. Sorry if I butcher it. I'm not a good Spanish speaker yet. Mad Junior, a public relations executive. That's a red flag. So I'm glad people voted against her because nobody wants that shit. And of course, that district itself managed to end up going for Hillary Rotten Clinton. But as for the district, the House district that represents San Francisco, number 12, Nancy Pelosi managed to get all the votes, which she'll be going against Lisa Rimmer. Now, am I surprised that Nancy Pelosi won San Francisco again in the primaries? No. In fact, I'm not going to be surprised if she wins San Francisco again. I think for the people in the U.S. House District 12 should just give up trying to run against her because it's obviously that she's going to win. She'll be in office until she decides to retire or she kicks the bucket. And that's pretty much my opinion on this. What's more of a fact. And I don't like Nancy Pelosi. She's one of the worst politicians ever. A globalist elitist. But people are dumb enough to vote her 50 times over and over again. So I guess this is gonna be her 500 her 50th term in office if she wins, but she will win. You know. Now okay, now I can't remember what district Maxine Waters represents. District 43. Now, Maxine Waters managed to win District 43 in the primaries. Yeah. And she'd be going against Omar Navarro, which is no contest because, let's face it, people are dumb enough, are stupid enough to vote for her. Her district is basically Inglewood in the surrounding area. And most people there, well, Inglewood's education attainment is pretty much abysmal. It's one of the few places that, well, it's one of the most of the places. It's like one of the places in the United States where people are uneducated. The education system fails them, so Maxine Waters takes advantage of it. Hell, she doesn't even live within her district. She lives outside of her district, people. Now, the sad thing about this is that Maxine Waters is probably going to win the midterms as usual, especially even if she's going up against Omar Navarro, who's Hispanic. I guess Omar Navarro is not black, so tough shit for him because people there would just vote for someone for their skin color and for having a D after their name, as opposed to voting what they stand for. Even if someone like Candace Owens tried to convince people within the 43rd district to vote for Omar, it's not going to happen. She's going to win. She's going to be the congresswoman for life because that's her goal in life. It's going to be funny to the point where she's going to be in her late 80s still representing District 43. She'll probably be senile. In fact, she'll probably eat dog turds thinking that they're chocolate, you know. Alluding to that joke I made before, where I guess her staff is questioning her like, "What are you eating? Well, I saw those chocolate laying in that grassy field, and I decided to pick one and see if I can save it for later. Man, those aren't chocolate. Those are animal droppings. Dog poop. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Eating dog shit. So yeah, it'll be a blessing if Omar Navarro wins against Maxine Waters. Now, I'm gonna go to my home district, which is District 51. As usual, Juan C. Vargas wins the primaries. He's gonna be going up against Juan Padego Jr., which I guess this is his second time running against um, Juan Vargas or something. Could be his third time. I don't know. As far as I know, yes, I did vote for Juan Navarro, Juan Hidego, even though he's not going to win or anything like that. Yeah, but he managed to get second place and all that. I don't know. I'm going to say it's his second attempt to win District 51, which is obviously that Juan Vargas is going to probably get his second or third term. I can't remember how many terms Juan Vargas has served. So I guess it's his second term or something. It seems that mostly Juan Vargas is a do-nothing congressman. So that's all for the um, that's all for the House election results. That's all for the California's primary House election. Now I'm going to talk about the Lieutenant Governor's election. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Lieutenant Governor's Lieutenant Gubernatorial election. Now, unlike the gubernatorial election itself, there was less candidates running for lieutenant governor because lieutenant governor is like one of the most useless positions, even though it's equivalent to vice president, whatnot, and all that shit. It's still a useless position. All the lieutenant governor has to do is just sit around his or her house all day, sleep in, and watch TV, watch the news, look, read the paper, or I guess go on the internet and look up the news on the internet these days and see if the governor has fucking died. If not, they go back to doing whatever the fuck they want to do. And all that shit. Just basically nothing. Now it's like the gubernatorial election, unlike the gubernatorial election, and like the Senate the election we're having, it's going to be two Democrats going at it, going. It's going to. What I'm saying is going to be two Democrats going at each other, because both Eleni Kunalakis and Ed Hernandez are both Democrats. Of course, I voted for Cole Harris because I thought he was the only one that's the most viable. So did the entire, almost, so did the majority of people living in San Diego County, which still shows that San Diego, even though it's starting to lean towards blue, still has pockets of conservatism left in it. Other candidates that were running against was like Fennell, I guess some lady who wanted more gun control. The independent candidates were like non-viable or weren't any good, so I voted for Cole Harris. But despite San Diego, Orange, and San Bernardino County voting for him, he still did not make it to the ballot. He still managed to lose the primary and not make it to the general elections. So it's going to be two Democrats, Eleni Kunalakis and Ed Hernandez. LA County went for Hernandez. I guess Santa Clara County went for Eleni. Hopefully, I'm not butchering Eleni's name because I feel like I might be doing it. But yeah, there's not really much point in voting who gets to be lieutenant governor if you think about it, because, like I said, it's a useless position. So that's all I gotta say about the lieutenant governor's race. So I'm gonna see the other stuff. Alright, people, it's time to talk about the state senate race and the state assembly race. But first, I want to bring up the Aaron Persky thing. Now, the Superior Court recall of Aaron Persky has gotten a yes vote. 60% of people voted yes, while 40% voted no. Now, I guess I can see why he needs to be recalled, because I guess he's been in the position for a long time at this moment from 2003 to 2018. So I guess it's time to let somebody else take the position. They'll pass the torch and shit. But I think the real reason why he's being recalled is because people are still mad at the Brock Turner case. Now keep in mind that California is also a haven for the social justice crowd. The far left Antifa people who go around burning cars if they don't get what they want. Now the situation with the Brock Turner case is this, that what happened is that Brock Turner found a girl slumped around drunk and decided to try to have sex with her, basically raping her unconscious. Now, the problem with that statement is that Brock Turner himself, what I'm saying is that even though he did it, Brock Turner himself was also under the influence of alcohol as well. So I guess he did not have much self-control, but in social justice land, that's not an excuse. So a lot of people were unhappy with Aaron Persky's, I guess, verdict, or should I say outcome of his sentence. What I mean is that people are unhappy about Aaron Persky's sentencing of Brock Turner. Basically, he sentenced him 6 months in jail. Well, I guess he has to spend the rest of his life as a registered sex offender because of that. And I guess the social justice warriors, especially the college type, wanted him to like sentence him life in prison. Basically, send him to the rock quarry. Well, where he's gonna be mining away rock, mining away rocks while eating a bare bone ration. Basically make him suffer for the rest of his life. But he didn't do that. He decided to just let him become a sex offender. And let me tell you something. If you become a registered sex offender, it's basically game over for you because it doesn't even matter. People are going to hate him even if they don't know what he's all about. They're going to know that he's a registered sex offender, and they're going to get on his face about it and treat him like shit because of that shit. Like, it's game over if you become a registered sex offender because it's a life sentence, people. Now, as much as there are people that are deserving to become registered sex offenders and deserving the hatred that comes with sex offenders, there's been innocent people that have been registered as sex offenders before, like someone having sex with someone who's like 18 years old and he decided to have sex with this 17-year-old girlfriend or 16-year-old girlfriend, and he gets caught, so he has to become a sex offender for the rest of his life. And his life becomes hard. He can't get a job or can't do much. Even if he has kids, he can't go visit him at school because of that motherfucking shit. But I'm getting off topic, but yeah, somebody else has to take his place. I think it's time for him to pass the torch. Now I'm going to go on with the state, senate, and assembly elections. Alright, enough of it's time to talk about the state senate and the state assembly elections. Now is more of a blue wave for the state senate and the state assembly election than for the house elections. The reason why is that some of the districts, I think 6 of them, did not have a Republican candidate or any other candidate other than Democrats. Like district number 2 just had 2 Democrats going at each other. Well, my district does have a Democrat and a Republican going at it, such as Lucio and Vargas, which I guess those guys are going to go after at it with each other in the general election. So that's all I got to say about this. That, as far as I can tell you, is that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Senate districts where Republicans are running. They have Republicans running, while I guess only one district has a Republican victor, while the others It looks like District 8, District 14, well, I mean, two districts have two Republican victors, but it looks like, I guess, District 8, District 16 have a Republican victor, which would be going against another Democrat challenger. As for District 20, Connie LaVeya, who's incumbent, is against the, going against her challenger Matthew Munson. He has 36% of the votes. So that's all I gotta say about the state Senate election, is that it looks more like a blue wave, I guess you can say. But as for there's not really much I can say about the state Senate. So the results may vary. Now, with the state assembly elections, you got, I guess, two districts managed to have a Republican candidate running. District 1 has a Republican ahead, Brian Dahl or something. He's currently incumbent, going against Colleen Sisk in her district, Assembly District 1. And I guess candidates for states SA District 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are gonna be in the general election because there's only two candidates. So I guess they weren't on the primary ballot because of that shit. Well, I guess District 10 is just gonna be two Democrats going at each other. To be honest, like, it's more of a blue wave with the assembly districts, if you think about it. Now, there's one district that has a libertarian running against Wendy Carrillo. I Yeah, she's named Spanish. Yeah, she's Spanish. Wendy Carrillo. She's facing off against a libertarian challenger, which I guess it's kind of good in one sense and another, because it'd be nice if we have more third-party candidates running for these areas, not just the state assembly and state senate, but for U.S. and Senate and House, as I can say. Now for my district, which is District 80, I think. Yeah, it's basically going to be two candidates. Lorena Gonzalez Fisher, who's the incumbent, is going to be faced off against Lincoln Pickard, who's the challenger. And I guess I voted for the challenger because he's the only one who's going against her and all that shit. And there's not really much I can say about the U.S. the state senate and the state assembly, because If we get more like third party members running for state senate and state assembly, then as well as Republicans, then I guess we can see if California can start improving itself, start seeing better improvement. But then again, it was just typical, bunch of typical generic Republicans and Democrats, which is not even exciting. Like, there's nothing exciting about the state legislation because it's just the same shit over again. Like, we got Scott Wiener because in the state senate, and has been one of the worst senators the state ever had. Like, helping to legalize infecting people with AIDS, knowing you have the disease, as well as other outrageous shit like having medical workers jailed for not using the right pronouns. All this bullshit legislation that we don't really need. So if the healthcare system in California starts to suffer, you can thank Scott Wiener. Like, maybe hopefully in the next election, you might get viable candidates if that's going to happen for state senate and state assembly. That's all I gotta say. There's nothing much to say about the region. So that's all. Alright, YouTube. It's time to talk about the ballot measures. Now, there were about 5 propositions on the ballot sheets for the state, but there were also local ballots as well. Now I'm gonna go through them. First of all, we got Measure C, which is Napa Valley water quality. And I don't care about Napa Valley because I'm not from Napa Valley, but I am going to talk about the local ballots that happen in San Diego County. Now, for one thing, I'm going to be talking now. We have Measure A, which is a half-cent sales tax. Now, I voted against that because it's going to increase the sales tax. Now, what is California known for about its sales tax? It has the highest sales tax within the country. In fact, the state of California has the highest tax rate than any other state within this country. Even New York State, which is, I guess they vote left, as well as Massachusetts. Now, I guess I'm going to have to do shopping outside of the city limits or something. Which, I guess it's all, I guess some people want it for good measure, to get faster response to 911, to increase police patrol, reduce gang activity and shit, improve firefighters' performance, as well as paramedics and other emergency service needs. But what for? At the expense of people paying extra to buy food, to buy necessities? Hell no. But I guess people want to pay more. I gotta, but it's California. People in the state of California love paying a lot of taxes, I guess. I'm one of the few who fucking hates that shit. So I guess I gotta do shopping outside of the state and outside of Chula Vista. Now there are other measures such as Measure B and C, which is to repeal Proposition 2 term limits, which it's to the term limits is to make sure that you only get 4-year terms on mayors or something. Instead, people voting to end the term limits. I guess the people in National City were smart enough to improve term limits, preserve them, because the mayor position, the city council member position, as well as city clerk and city treasurer, all need to have term limits. And I think that's one of the things that this country needs, as well as Capitol Hill, is that we need to impose term limits to, I guess, to make sure that they don't get too comfy in their position. Because if you look at Congress, they keep, most of the time, your congressman or woman spends most of his or her time trying to, I guess, get ready for the next election and see if they can get reelected. When I'm saying they spend more time trying to get reelected as opposed to doing their job. And I think National City is smart enough, the good people of National City are smart enough to, I guess, to recognize that unlimited terms is problematic. So good for them. Then you got Measure D, San Diego County Service Area 113, Initiative to Repeal Special Fire Tax. And I guess people around here voted yes to repeal the fire tax. Now, I don't blame the people around here doing that, because almost everyone around here is tired of paying too much taxes. Why should people pay a monster amount of taxes and shit? Well, that's all I gotta say about the ballot measure. Now, there's another ballot measure in San Francisco called Proposition E, bans sale of flavored tobacco. Now, the idea of flavored tobacco is to, like, I guess, make it easier for people to consume tobacco without tasting the product. Because I never smoked, but I can imagine people finding the flavor of tobacco, plain tobacco, to be disgusting. Tobacco, so people decided to ban, and the fact that what I'm saying is the fact that Proposition E passes, that people want to ban the flavor, flavored tobacco. Now, what the fuck is, seriously, is that what they were thinking? Just to ban fucking tobacco? Why don't you just ban smoking, and why don't you just ban fucking tobacco products in general? Make it where people can't buy cigarettes or electronic cigarettes, so they have to leave the city and buy cigarettes there. I'm glad that I don't live in San Francisco, because that place is such a nanny state. It's the nanny state of all nanny states in North America. Like, you have to pay an extra tax to buy soda. Now you can't buy flavored tobacco. So I guess you have to taste the nastiness of tobacco and shit. This is fucking stupid, people. Why do the people of San Francisco do this to themselves? Make it so it's impossible for them to live. It's no wonder it's expensive to live in San Francisco. And they have a high homeless population. Like, I think San Francisco has the highest homeless population in the state of California. And most of these guys are volatile, if you think about it. And they want to ban, now they're trying to ban tobacco in general. Well, flavored tobacco in general. What the fuck is like, why the fuck do you know? I don't know. It's a fun thing to live in a nanny state, being told what you gotta do, you know? I guess the San Franciscans like being told what to do. Probably because their education tells them it's good to be told what to do, you know? So, have to be banned. So let's make sure you do not own a gun. You do not buy tobacco products that we don't like. You do not, I don't know, bring your dogs to the beach, play frisbee at the beach, or bring beer to the beach. You do not, and you have to pay taxes to buy soda. Yeah, it's this fucking nanny state thing, and I'm getting tired of it. Maybe everybody should rebel against this thing. Go to the fucking beach with their hoverboards, with a with a cooler full of beers with their dogs and frisbee, and do what they want to do at the beach. And of course, San Francisco beaches are crap, especially when they got a high homeless population, and lots of bums are claiming territory to that area. So I'm going to talk about the state ballot. Alright, people, it's time to talk about the ballot proposition, namely the state one. Now, there were 5 propositions, and I'm going to be going over them. Proposition 68 issues park and nature bonds. It means we take $4 billion of taxpayer money and use it to, I guess, finance park and nature projects. I voted no on that because where are we going to get the money? But everybody voted yes on it. So I guess it means we're going to pay more fucking taxes just to work on these projects. Proposition 69 bans transport relock, which means requires certain taxes and fee revenue related to transportation used for transportation system. I voted against that because I think it's a junk proposition, but everybody voted yes on it. So that means we're going to be paying more taxes. Proposition 70, super managed to use GDG funding, cap and trade funds. I voted no. Everybody voted no, which is a good thing. Here we got Proposition 70, SW measures in effect later, which means which the Proposition 71 says that we have to wait 5 days before the proposition can be passed, which means we have to take 5 days counting the ballots, seeing who voted yes and voted no. I say we should take 10 days. So I voted no on it, but everybody voted yes on it. And Proposition 72, no rain recycling water proposition tax. I voted yes on it because we don't need any more fucking taxes. We got enough taxes, but funny, this one passed. Now, majority of this proposition means we should raise more taxes on the citizens. And it seems everybody wants to pay more fucking taxes. Seriously, is that what people want to pay? I find it funny that people are willing to pay extra income tax for the park and nature projects and transportation, which is not going to come in reality. Probably a nature project will take longer than it's anticipated to do, you know. Like that high speed rail is taking a longer time to be completed. It's over budget, it's over scheduled, and it's a waste of money. And I guess that's what Proposition 69 is going to do, is go to the money for that stupid bullet train to nowhere. And to be honest, most of the money is just going to go, or most of the money are just going to go to the bureaucrats. And very little will go to the project in general. I find it kind of funny that these people want to pay extra taxes voted no on rain recycling structure on the buildings. You know, excluding rain, people want to exclude rain water capturing system from property taxes. I guess they should have voted no on that, since everybody in the state of California likes paying taxes. I don't. It's expensive to live here. This is one of the reasons why we have a higher homeless population, and why people can only live in a 2-bedroom homes or a fucking apartment building and a one-room and and a one-room shack, because it's the only thing we can afford right now. And plus, we're not open for business because business is overregulated. Now, that's all I gotta say about the proposition. I mean, the state proposition and local proposition that are on the ballots, you know. So I'm going to the next topic. Okay, now, the rest is Attorney General, which I guess a Democrat and a Republican is going to face off with each other. State Secretary is a Democrat and a Republican. State Treasurer will probably be a Democrat and a Republican. As well as, I guess, State Controller, a Democrat and a Republican. Not much to say about these positions, which I guess with the Treasury, it would be good if we have someone who's fiscally conservative. But even if the person who's a Republican is fiscally conservative, there's no guarantee that he would be. And that's all I gotta say about these positions. There's nothing much I can say. I guess the state secretary is one thing. Maybe we should get a Republican in, or someone who's at least he's actually conservative, libertarian, or classical liberal for once. That's That's the only thing I can say for these other positions being taken over. You know, like, I guess, AG, Secretary of State, State Treasurer, State Controller, State Insurance Commission. It's not like these positions matter, but I guess the Treasurer, Secretary of General, Secretary of State and AG might matter, but Controller and Insurance Commissioner, what are they good for? I should go look it up or something. So that's all I gotta say about those two elections. All right, that's all for the California Jungle Primaries. Now, I'm starting to dislike the Jungle Primary system, but I wonder if anybody else has a problem with the Jungle Primaries, because as far as I know, this system has been criticized because sometimes you get Republican versus Republican or Democrat versus Democrat. Now, as I know, I think party politics are stupid. Partisanism is stupid. I don't believe we should have political parties in our system because they're meaningless. In fact, I'm not a fan of the two-party system. Now, I think the reason why I got a problem with the Jungle Primaries, even though it's a non-partisan system, it when the primaries result comes in, it's either a Democrat or a Republican that gets the top votes. None of the third party members get anything. Rather, it's the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, the Peace and Freedom Party, or independent politicians. Because the Jungle Primaries only guarantee the ones that are part of the two-party system get the vote or guarantee them a victory, regardless what the outcome is. Regardless what the outcome is, because that's pretty much how it is in the United States. I think most people should abandon the two-party system and go for third-party candidates. If any cynical people voted, we could have had third-party candidates in the race. That is, if the third-party candidates are viable. Like, for instance, and at the same time, we don't need like these party politics. What's the point of having, like, what I'm saying is at the same time is that should we really vote for somebody because they have a D or R after their name? Because that's one of the stupidest reasons why people vote for that candidate, is because they either have a D or an R after their name. I think somebody at my work said that with the fucking midterms, we should vote for Democrats, regardless what they are. And that's, my friend, is a very bad advice. You don't go around voting for people because they have a D or R after their name. You vote if they're viable or not. If they have a good platform, if they care about the people or not. Now, I'm going to go back to the governor's election. Like I said, Gavin Newsom is going into the generals. And if he wins the general election, he's going to be one of the worst governors in this country, in this state, has ever seen. He's going to run this state to the ground to the point where it's impossible to live in, it's impossible to govern, it's impossible to run. And John Cox is running against him. I encourage people to vote against Gavin Newsom. If you're a conservative, libertarian, or a classical liberal, go out and vote against Gavin Newsom. Vote for Gavin Newsom's opponent, John Cox. Because I would be willing to vote for anybody that's running against Newsom. Because I think he's one of the worst politicians ever. In fact, if you think about the Gunmageddon law, he is one of the architects of Gunmageddon, which means he's against the idea of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and he wants people to be disarmed. I don't. I want people to have the right to bear arms to defend themselves when the time has come. And to be honest, I don't like that shit. I don't like it when the first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th Amendment being violated. And that's what these politicians like Newsom will do. They'll violate the Bill of Rights right now. The Bill of Rights has been violated since 9/11. All of the amendments except for the Third Amendment, which hasn't been violated yet. Forced to quarter a soldier against your will in time of war. But hey, it might happen. You might sit around your house and the army boy in your house is like eating everything. But yeah, we gotta vote against Gavin Newsom. I don't like him. But the worst thing, and I know that he has a higher chance of winning the election as opposed to John Cox. And I can see why some conservative people are unhappy that he is running because they wanted Travis Allen. As much as you do want him, please vote for John Cox. Vote for any opponent that's running against Mr. Newsom, the former mayor and the current lieutenant governor of, the former mayor of San Francisco and the current lieutenant governor right now. Because your constitutional rights depend on it. Now, as for the Senate election, I'm going to abstain from voting because it's the two same assholes with different names. Of course, Dianne Feinstein is going to win and become, I guess, senator for life, like John McCain is. It's the same thing with John McCain. They keep re-electing that fucker even though he's a piece of shit. Here we got Dianne Feinstein, and we keep electing her even though she mostly does nothing for us. Oh yes, another thing. There is a ballot proposition that's going to be on the ballots in November called the 3 California Initiatives. What it does is it will separate California into 3 states, Northern and Southern California, and I guess California for LA, that situation. And I know that most people are black-pilled about it, and I'm kind of cynical about it. But I am going to vote for it because we do need to split up the state where NorCal is going to be, I guess, left-leaning. SoCal would be marginally conservative. and I'm willing to vote for that. Now, most people will be like, if we vote for that, because the state needs to be split up. And this is kind of a cultural thing, because there's like a difference between the culture of NoCal and the SoCal culture. Just telling you this. So that's all I gotta say about the primary elections. So remember to get out there and vote. I'm Wicked Wonka. I'm signing off. If you have anything to say, you can write down it on it. If you have anything on your mind, you have excuse. If you have anything on your mind, feel free to leave a comment. If you like this video, press the like button. If you want to hear more on me, you can subscribe to my channels via YouTube and BitChute. Hit the bell icon if you want to see if I'm going to release more videos. So I'm Wicked Wonka. I'm signing out.